Pirate's Price by Lou Anders is a junior reader book that came out earlier this month. When it comes to books, I usually do one video for my review and another for all the Easter eggs and connections, but today I'm going to do both in one. The story is part of the Flight of the Falcon line. No, not the Game Boy Advance game, but shout out to the greatest gaming system ever made, don't at me. Flight of the Falcon details the famous ship's journey from its construction on Corellia all the way to its last known location on Batuu. Bazine Natal has been the one consistent character, as she has been hired to track the ship down and steal it. Previous books and comics have led her to Hondo Ohnaka in the time after The Last Jedi, and so he tells Bazine about all of his encounters with the Falcon throughout the years. The first story seems to take place after Rebels but before A New Hope, because Hondo mentions his part in the liberation of Lothal. The second story is a little more vague. It definitely takes place after Return of the Jedi, and my best guess would be after Ben's fall, because Han and Chewie have returned to smuggling. And then the final part of the story is about how Hondo came to have the Falcon, which we'll get to see at the Galaxy's Edge theme park later this year. Your enjoyment of this book is probably just going to come down to whether or not you like Hondo as a character. He's pretty hit or miss for me. I like him in the Clone Wars when he was a little more menacing. In Rebels I found him to be on the annoying side, but I do think that was intentional. In this book, I'll admit I liked him a lot. Anders really writes his voice well, so to speak, and I found myself chuckling at most of his dialogue. I usually go into junior reader books with lower expectations, but on top of being a very fast and entertaining read, there were a decent amount of connections to other stories, and maybe even hints at future content, which I'll get into shortly. If Hondo is one of your favorite characters, you will really enjoy Pirate's Price. If you're really excited about Galaxy's Edge, I also think you'll have a lot of fun with the book. Otherwise, you're fine skipping it. You won't be missing out on major galactic consequences. Finally, I should mention that reading the rest of the Flight of the Falcon comics and books isn't necessary to understand this book, but you'll probably be more invested if you have. If you're on the fence, you can pick up the book for free on Audible. Just follow the link in the description and sign up for a free 30-day trial, and you'll get a credit for one free audiobook. You can get Pirate's Price or a number of other Star Wars books, and Pirate's Price is actually narrated by Jim Cummings, who voiced Hondo in the Clone Wars and Rebels. But let's move on to some fun facts, Easter eggs, connections, and all that stuff. Spoilers will follow. Bazine first meets Hondo playing sabacc with a Swearton, and she notes that they have the ability to subconsciously affect probability. That was introduced in the Lucky Trio in the anthology book Canto Bight. The card game is taking place in Oga Gara's Cantina, a confirmed location at Galaxy's Edge. Drinks are mentioned including the Fuzzy Tauntaun, Sarlacc Juice, Gamorrean Grog, and Carbon Freeze, all of which could be real drinks we can order. A DJ droid in the bar plays Mad About Me, the Cantina song from A New Hope. Bazine thinks the song is overplayed. It's also possible that song could play at Galaxy's Edge. Hondo makes many braggadocious references to his exploits in both the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. There's a vague mention of the loss of his pirate empire, but we still don't know exactly how he fell from grace. He also claims to be the only being in the galaxy who ever found the lost treasure of Kanata's castle. I don't know what the lost treasure is, but we have seen that the two pirates have a relationship in the Freemaker Adventures and Battlefront 2. In the book, he mentions how his flag used to hang on Maz's castle, which can be seen in The Force Awakens. When Hondo attempts to steal the Falcon, he finds resistance in the computer, which is a nod to L337, who tries to keep him out of her systems. A new alien species named Pachyphantos are introduced. They're basically walking elephants who pride themselves on never forgetting being wronged. Hondo notes how often Han sticks his finger in people's faces, which might be a fun little nod to Harrison Ford's tendency to do that when he acts. It's also noted that Han is terrible with children, which could be a reference to his future parental failures with Ben. A Kaminoan plays a role in one of the stories, and Hondo points out that he hasn't seen very many of them in the galaxy since the Clone Wars ended. Basically, the whole story builds up to reveal why Hondo has the Falcon during the events of Galaxy's Edge, but I'll save that whole story for another video, so that's it for today. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.